Welcome to a new episode of the 90s Metal Gamer, where we stay hydrated and play video games. There are many Nintendo IPs that I hold very close to my heart, and one of them is the Star Fox franchise. I was introduced to the Star Fox franchise with the SNES Star Fox game, where it all began. And in case you didn't know, that's where my background music is from too. It's pretty common knowledge that the SNES Star Fox game is stupidly difficult, and it's difficult for all the wrong reasons. You got low frame rate, low polygon count, and as well as shapes that blend in far too good with the background, so you really can't see your enemies that well. Although I will admit, OG Star Fox is really fun to look at. From how I see it, I think Nintendo was well ahead of their time when they were designing the Mode 7 chip. The technological limitations of the 90s really hindered the progression of the Mode 7 chip. It just wasn't fit for the 90s. Fast forward to 2016, where we have Star Fox Zero, the last Star Fox game that has been released to date. Unless you want to count Starlink, although I don't really consider that to be a true Star Fox game. I can go on and on and on forever about the Star Fox franchise. However, this video is about Star Fox Zero. I'm going to give a casual review of Star Fox Zero, meaning that I did not complete the game to 100% completion. The main concern was the story. I mentioned in my Star Fox Adventures review video that Star Fox Zero plays very unconventional, and I'll explain exactly what I mean by that in this review. I have to admit I had loads of fun replaying this game. However, my biggest hurdle of this was the controls. And if you have played this game before, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Over the course of this review, I'm going to go over the story, the gameplay, the presentation, and the music. And then we'll wrap it all up with the water score. Cue the channel intro.
And then the Lord said,
I want to see your tiny head.
There is a lot of questions in regards to Star Fox Zero. Is it a reboot? Is it a sequel? Is it a prequel? What exactly is it? Well, according to a Game Informer online article dated April 26, 2016, Shigeru Miyamoto states that it is not a remake nor is it a sequel. In fact, it is meant to be a reboot for the series, hence why it is called Star Fox Zero. Similar to how Metroid got rebooted with Metroid Zero Mission. However, there are a lot of features that are in Star Fox 64 that made its way over to Star Fox Zero, such as the Landmaster, all-range mode, and dual lasers. Star Fox Zero pays a lot of respect to Star Fox 64. How does that old saying go? Imitation is the best form of flattery. Altogether, it took me around 7 to 8 hours to beat Star Fox Zero. It was a rather short game, but it was fun. So considering that, this review video might be a lot shorter than my previous ones. And since this is a casual review video, my main focus was to complete the story. Once again, I did not complete this game to 100%. Alright, that's enough of my rants. Let's go ahead and get into this review video. We're going to start with the story. If you have played any of the previous Star Fox games, then the story of Star Fox Zero should feel very familiar to you. It starts out with General Pepper contacting the Star Fox team asking for assistance to help to defeat Andross. Nothing new here. I would like for you guys to see how beautiful the cinematic entrance is. Because all of the communication was coming through my Wii U gamepad, my capture card did not pick up anything that was coming out of the TV. So you won't hear any comms, but at least it looks pretty. Have a look. And there you have it. That's your story. It essentially is Star Fox 64, just with a fresh coat of paint and brand new mechanics, and honestly, I am here for it. Throughout the story, you will travel through various planets in order to reach Venom, and depending on how you perform in each mission will determine the path that you take. I guess this would be a perfect segue into the gameplay segment. The best way that I can describe the gameplay would be theatrical and cinematic. It's something you just have to experience for yourself in order to get a grasp of how glorious it is. If you look in the lower right hand portion of the screen, you can see exactly what I mean when I say unconventional gameplay. All the comms were coming from the Wii U gamepad, which I really did not like, and I couldn't hear any of the comms come through the TV, so my capture card did not capture any of the comms. On top of that, I'm really not a fan of the Wii U gamepad itself, and there was no option to use the Wii U Pro Controller. Honestly, if I would have used the Wii U Pro Controller, I probably would have enjoyed this game just a little bit more. Earlier in the video, I mentioned something about new mechanics, and what you're seeing on screen is the walker mechanic, and it is awesome, actually. I thought I was going to hate it at first, but it slowly grew on me, and honestly, I love it. What's so great and unique about the walker is that you're able to transform from the R-Wing at any time you please, just like so. This makes the walker and the R-Wing arguably the most practical and logical piece of equipment in the entire game. At times, it really felt like I was watching a movie unfold right in front of me because of all the theatrical cutscenes. I thought it was beautiful. And of course, it would not be a proper Star Fox game if the Star Wolf team were not involved in some way, shape, or form. They make a return, and their ships are beautiful. And we also have the return of the Landmaster tank, which is your all-purpose, all-terrain vehicle. And it is an absolute powerhouse of a machine. There is a newcomer machine in Star Fox Zero, and it is called the Gyro Wing. It's not really suited for combat, mostly used for stealth operations, but it does have dual lasers installed as well as missiles. The biggest downfall, or perhaps my biggest gripe about the entire gameplay of Star Fox Zero, was using the Wii U gamepad. Luckily, you were able to switch between the cockpit view, which is normally on the gamepad, and third-person view, which is normally on the TV. You could easily swap those, but the fact that I was forced to use the Wii U gamepad made the gameplay experience mediocre at best. I'm just simply not a fan of the Wii U gamepad. It's too bulky. and the thumbstick placement interfered with the button presses. When I went to go move the thumbstick, I oftentimes pressed a button inadvertently. Horrible design. But I have to give credit where credit is due. At times where the cockpit view is absolutely necessary, you could easily press a button on the gamepad and it would bring the cockpit view up on the TV, so I wasn't looking at the gamepad the entire time. Overall, I would have to say the gameplay was a playable experience. It's one of those things that's just there. Remember when I said that Star Fox Zero was a very cinematic and theatrical experience? Well, I'm gonna let the graphics speak for themselves, so enjoy this short clip of the opening scene. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I am quite certain that the Wii U was Nintendo's introduction into the HD world. And if you ask me, they knocked it out of the park, considering the Wii U gets a lot of backlash. When the Wii U first released, a lot of people didn't know the Wii U was a whole new console. Most people thought it was an add-on to the Wii. It was such a weird time for Nintendo, but luckily they were able to pull themselves out with a Switch. Overall, the graphics were very, very beautiful, very gorgeous, very colorful, and oftentimes they were very theatrical and cinematic, which added to the experience. Now, what we need is a new generation Star Fox game. What do you think? I'm using this particular sound clip for a specific reason. You've already heard some of the music throughout the game. I'm using this one to visualize the range of the music. I really hope you guys understand how deep and engaging this music is. I hope you're understanding how I'm hearing this. Truth be told, I am blown away by how good this soundtrack is in this game. I really have no words for it. It is beautiful. I really could listen to this soundtrack all day. Nintendo placed all the right music in all the right spots. 10 out of 10. Would put this in my gym playlist. I am once again torn on how to rate a Star Fox game. The game itself as a whole was absolutely amazing. It was a rush of nostalgia from the SNES Star Fox to the Nintendo 64 Star Fox. What gave me the most heartache, what gave me the most pain, what gave me the most frustration when playing this game was the Wii U gamepad itself. I am not a fan of the Wii U gamepad. I think it's horrible. I think it is ugly. I think it needs to just go away altogether. But considering how good this game was, I am willing to forgive all that. I am willing just to forget that the Wii U gamepad ever existed. And because the game was so good, I am going to overlook the Wii U gamepad and give this game a water score of 5 out of 5 bottles of water. I highly recommend any Star Fox fan to play this game, and even if you're not a Star Fox fan, play it anyway. You will enjoy it. Although you may not be able to find it that easily. Look on Goodwill's eBay store. That's where I get most of my games at a relatively cheap price. In any case, I really do appreciate you watching my videos, and I really do mean that. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'll really help me out a lot. I love y'all, stay hydrated, and I'll catch you on my next video.